it's bloody freezing up here. Well, not literally freezing, but not far off. Anyway, let's get you caught up on everything that's going on and everything that's happening here. Progress is slower than I'd like, primarily because I don't have a lot of reference points. There aren't any diagrams that are immediately available to me to sort of chuck stuff back together, and I don't have an actual sort of, you know, I'm making this shit up as I go along, which is, you know, and I very much at the moment, because this is basically the cost of this thing is, well, it's gone. We're using what we got. All the fuel lines and everything else should be sorted. The return line, which is the Uber line that we put in, that's running around there, and all of this is proper graded hose. This is the fuel in, along with its little and we've tested all this, we know it's working. We've got the charcoal canister, the vapor release there. That's got some vapor thing that goes into the intake. Yeah, we've got all of this, all the aircon lines are in. I've had to replace this because we had a few issues with that, and this pipe, it's nice pipe in the sense that it's made to fit and what have you, but you can't do anything with it once it's, you can't even just warm it up a bit and move it. Now, wiring wise, again, everything, we do have one thing we've got to look at, but everything, and I tried to buy a connector and a male and female connector to go, so I could just make a, because this only come out to about by here, so I wanted to make an extension, so we didn't really touch the loom. I cannot get those connectors. I just, everything, tried everything. So what I ended up doing was making, buying the actual, coloured wire, and making a proper connector so there's no confusion ever over that. And that comes because that's got to fit the solenoid bypass, which is something we'll look at today as well, hopefully. I've fitted, oh, the cat. Right, now, I've heat shrouded, heat shielded, heat wrapped, and this stuff. I'm terrible at this stuff, and it's literally, I don't know whether you can see my glistening. This stuff is got everywhere. It's absolutely dreadful stuff to do, but I'm conscious that I'm trying to keep as much heat away from this area as possible. So, and I haven't gone all the way down and wrapped the actual cat, because they don't like that, because that will mean they get too hot and they die sooner, and you don't want to kill your cat, do you know what I mean? Anyway, so we've got that. These are all hooked up now, and there's the correct sensor and everything, all that. I did have an interest because I wanted to put, I've got this lovely stuff, this heat proof, and I wanted to put, so that covers that and all of that there and what have you, and that comes up, there we go. But I can't, I thought, right, I'll depin this, because that's easy enough to do, and feed the wires through and one thing. I cannot depin this. It will not depin. I've tried everything. I know how to do it, but honestly, God, they are absolutely. And then there's this. This is a silicone elbow, which everyone recommends that you replace the horrible plastic one that it comes with. And I ordered the one for the Gareth safety device specifically, and what I've got doesn't appear to fit. Now I'm going to put this down to it being extreme Chinesium, and at the moment I would say, if you're ever going to, just don't. So we've got a little bit of tidying up to do. I'm going to see if I can depin that connector, get that heat shielding on there. If not, I'm going to default to, I've got some heat tape that I can use. And then if I can't do that, and then we're going to put the intercooler hoses, get all that sorted, get all that buttoned down, because I want to do as much as possible on it whilst there's nothing here. But we're getting to the point now where we have got to start sticking stuff back in and doing all that and everything else. So I think what we should do is have a crack. So we've got two sensors now to hook up, put you up there, or two. We've got this one and we got this one. But let's just find the, that's in that there, which we're gonna, that comes out of there, that looks over there. So we've got two hoses that we need put in. So I went into Halfords because that's where I tend to end up on a Sunday morning, because nowhere else is open and I nearly always need parts or bits, just consumables, and I needed some Jubilee clips. They were selling these Jubilee clips for, and they're not stainless or anything, they're just standard bright zinc clips, which are good enough for our purpose, yeah. And I went in to get these clips and I realised they were £3 and they were individually packaged, so they were £3 each. And I thought, you know what, I think that's a bit salty. And I had a think, and I ended up in Tool Station, and Tool Station wanted £3 also, but theirs was a pack of 10. Explain to me how that works, you know. See, I've tended to go through, and I seem to be going through a lot of, I could only get one packet of them as well, a lot of consumables in this project as well. So we do a lot of packets and packets of stuff, and I tell you something that I'm going to do once this car is, oh, that's terrible, is out here, is this is going to get a, this workshop is going to get a reorg in the consumables department, because this has gotten absolutely ridiculous. I don't think that's the proper fixing for that, but there you go. Right. So that there comes up under there, and this there, clicky clicky clack. Fantastic. Right, let's hook you up here, because is that there? That there? And that is supposed to clip onto there, but it's a different fixing to what it used to be. So we're a bit. What's this one here? Map sensor. Okay. Now I think this is the Panda hose. See that loom clips on underneath there quite efficiently. Well, I say efficiently, it's an absolute pain in the ass to, that's what I was worried about. You go up there, you go up there, you. The main issue is, can we make sure that that gets on? Don't get me wrong, it's not perfectly. Oh, that's all right. That is. All right, that's down there. Yeah. It's tight, very tight. Let me just get my workshop helper in to take a look at this and pump this while we, oh, that's right. It's just me. It feels okay now. Wonder what it'll feel like on the road. Right, let me just put this rubber cover back on you, because you wouldn't want to leave your rubber cover off. You don't want to leave that off. All manner of things can go wrong if you leave that off. Should we have a look at the intercooler piping? I think we shall. Right. That is a nice bag of chips. Right. Right, okay, so that's in the way of the normal, etc. Now, looking at a previous person's work, as you can see, there is a pipe in there that does that. And I thought, well, I haven't got that pipe. And then I realised that about 6 months ago, I bought this by mistake, thinking it was something else. And it's been chucked in a box up there saying, in fact today I even pointed and said, yeah, I don't need that. And look what we've got. Couldn't make it up. What are these rated? 62 to 54. No. I think what I paid for that kit, it would have cost me that in Eclipse alone. Which is mad considering everything else is stupid money. Yeah, that's definitely the right hose. Could not make it up. Alright, I reckon the one we need there is a 45. Is that a 45? I found it. The quality is it's unbelievable. This is some I wouldn't want to know what's going on in there. That's some premium Chinesium there. Like, oh, look at that. Oh, brilliant. Double bubble on these then, is there? Be really careful with this. See our first issue. Okay. Awesome. You're all day with that. Another useless bloody tool station belt. Oh, that's interesting. It's actually aluminium with a plastic stuck to it. Oh, okay. Right, let's just drop some temporary bolts in here. So we're going to do this piece by piece. So we reckon we want. Why does that keep slipping out there? Right, do you know what? Let's have a look at it. Well, do you know what? That's actually not bad. I can live with that. That's all right. That'll work nicely. Eh? That will work nicely. Now I think we still want to go up. All we need now is all going through there. Oh, do you know what? That is perfect. So, not wanting to make massive errors everywhere like, you know, I normally do. As you can see, this now no longer fits. So the plan is that I am going to cut. Now it's interesting because there is very little space going down there. However, that's got to come in a good 30 mil, and there. Oh Jesus, that's close. That is really close. And that's close there as well. By close I mean we're gonna have to move that back. Which is unfortunate because I really didn't want to do that. So I think the whole lot's got to move back in about 30 mil, which to you Americans is like, you know, 12.5 miles. So now we can see their idea of using this ain't gonna work, which is a shame, to be honest with you. Them's the brakes. Right, we've gone old school again. Okay, so current sit rep. It's been a few days because I had to send the parts fairies on a mission. Anyway, we've got a lot of tidying up to do. We still haven't managed to get the intercooler to fit. I'm hoping that that lot or something in that lot will help. Now, what we've got to do here primarily is tidy everything up. We've got to sort out, tidy up the wiring. By tidy up, I mean pin it all up. We've got to put some sort of heat shield in over this. I'm not happy with just leaving this like this. We have to clip everything off, make sure the pipes are all tight and everything else. I've made the decision to go with the factory oil cooler for now. That's going to have to happen again at a later date. I haven't got the time anymore to fiddle with it. We've got to do other things, like we've got to replace this pipe here with something generic that will fit up, you know. I'm not going to worry, but I'm actually going to take it off at there and just get everything, because we have got to get this intercooler fitted. Now, I've got 2 smaller intercoolers, and we're going to have a crack and we'll see what goes on and occurs, because, you know, and all this got to go back on as well. And I'm hoping that over the next 2 days it all gets nailed. So let's have a crack. Oh my word. Okay. I quite like the look of that. That's all right. What are you doing with my tape measure? And my Sharpie. Oh, it's looking a lot better. Well, we got room to spare. We got room to spare. Oh, that's tight, tight, tight. Right, so we're now fitting there, but our issue now is the position of the inlet and the outlet, and it wants to drop down quite a bit, which could be, mind you, that said, I reckon there's space there to do that. Christ, that's close there. I reckon there's space there to do that. Right. Right. Oh. How we got you? How we got you all together? Oh, stainless too! Oh, you beauty! Look at that! Lovely bit of Fabricobbling here to do now. And I do like a bit of Fabricobbling, you know? You know? Well, I didn't want to make them too good, because if I did, then I'd be doing it more often, and I don't want to be doing it more often. So what I got to do now is get that crash bar off, you know, and start lining things up and whatever. Because this is a very much an example of using what you've got. This is scrap with some washers, and that'll work nice, that will, you know. And by the time it's been cleaned up a bit and had a bit of the old powder coating, then you will never know that, you'll never see the difference. It'll look like new, like it was grown there. That's it, I'm done with those discs. They're bloody crap. Alright, please work, please fit, please fit. Oh, nearly, we were nearly there. Oh. Well, that's not bad for Fabricobbling. Oh, actually, do you know, hey. Oh, I forgot my washers. Oh, I'll come back for them in a bit. Let's just get these in for a sec. Oh, you bugger, get on there. Don't want to do that up until we tighten it, tie it onto the battery box. Just put it on there for now. So there's that. Oh, and that'll be held up by that as well, so that'll stop this from, yep, okay. And that goes under there, and that's gonna have to be on there. So we'll stick one of these on yet. Okay, so as you can see, the original radiator has seen better days. And it's actually damaged and leaking. So we're replacing it with that thing that is going to get damaged the more I look at it. So what we need to do is, and the other problem I've got is to make way for the turbo, we've had to trim this here. And what we're going to do is we're going to bolt a bracket that attaches to that, and we're going to make I don't know what to make it out of yet. The battery bit, I've got to make a heat shield for the ECU, which is what I'll do after I've done this. But I welded. I took this off the Abarth. This is the Panda battery box, but I took that off the Abarth battery box, drilled the spots out, and I've just because I've got to mount the this, and that's how it's mounted in the Abarth, so like that apparently, which, yeah, okay, because I was going to make a bracket and I thought, why? I've also got to make a heat shield which goes around the ECU, because I don't know how much heat, good God, there's oil everywhere. I don't know how much heat is going to be, because there's a blanket over this, but I don't know where the heat's going. So I'm going to put a heat shield over the ECU, because I can, basically. The radiator. So I've got to take the clippy bit off the hose that's on there, retrofit, etc. You know the score. It's the same thing we've done with everything else. And then we've got to we can actually probably put the expansion tank in and everything then as well, because that bit's done. I'm gonna have to reroute the washer filler hole, bottle hose filler, and a few other bits and pieces. But other than that, I can't remember what half this stuff does. Radiator, fan, fog lights. Is that the horn? Anyway, so we've got quite a bit to do, and I think the best thing we can do is crack on with it. you know what I reckon would be a good idea first? See if we actually checked that the new radiator is functioning, or will function in that way. Got a completely different expansion tank system on them, so all you end up with, perfect, is the wrong radiator. Now I don't know how many people have actually tried to replace, oh god, well at least you know it's not going to come off. So a story behind this radiator, or these radiators, is that the part number on the original that's fitted to it doesn't it's completely obsolete, and you can't get, and it doesn't come up with anything, even though it's a Valio part. If you go and you try and locate the correct radiator for it, you will come up with nothing but standard 1.1, 1.2 radiators, which are the ones with the expansion tank built into them. It's no good. This turns out to be, or the replacement for it, I should say, turns out to be a 1.3 multi-jet radiator fitted to, well, 1.3 multi-jet Panda and quite a few other bits and pieces, like there's a van that is fitted to, and it's quite a prolific thing, but it's not listed for this. This is going to be too big. Mobile phone update, because yeah, right. Intercooler piping, well, I'm done with it. It's been on, put it this way, this lot's been on and off here more times than you know, it's been crazy. So pipe work is done, and I've had lots of issues with the way the radiator fits in, and this bad boy by here, and not quite fitting, because this is an Abarth pipe, and I've altered that slightly and brought it further up, and the stock oil cooler had a little bit of a loads of stuff. The AC pipes didn't quite fit through the thing, and we should be okay now, because this is, like I say, it's been on and off and on and off and on and off and on and off, and this is where we are. And I got a nice bit of heat shield in down there, and you know, now this year as well has had a little bit of a I've got to get a new bung for this, because if you're doing this, there's let me just oh, you can't change that when you're going. Oh, you can go out. Oh, okay, all right. So yeah, you've got a the radiator. Now that radiator falling apart. This is the new one. Unfortunately, it's dreadful quality. I didn't think I bought a cheap one, but you know, there you go. This I've had to do put on with it, because the clip just didn't want to go. The fan shroud, the original bracket I made, spent ages making for it, didn't fit this, because this radiator was suitably different. And I didn't want to put this radiator on because I was going to damage it. So this particular bracketry and all that and everything else, it didn't quite fitted fine with that one, didn't fit very well with this one, so I've had to re-engineer the brackets and everything else, and trim a bit more off this and trim a bit more off there and trim a bit more off there. And if you're going into doing this, right, just be prepared to trim quite a bit. And the old hang on, the old Best tool ever, you know. 80 grit belt on that bad boy, I tell you what, you can do anything. So yeah, that's kind of where we are. Now, we're actually ready for this all to go back on. Because this is now, I can't take this on, it's doing my head in. So I'm going to crack and do all this in one thing or another and show you what this will look like, all up front and offered up and hooked up. And I'm hoping to get this done tonight. Right, so for you guys it's been seconds, minutes, who knows. For me it's been a few days. I've had a few problems with this. Now this whole intercoolery kind of setup that we've got here, the new radiator, it fits slightly differently, and I'm never going to get anything different. It is what it is. So that's caused a problem. But despite me mocking all this up and doing everything and measuring and getting it absolutely, you know, we're talking Rizzler, right? It doesn't fit. And this is the problem that everyone's had in retaining the AC. If the AC wasn't there, I could go back another 25 mil. That's 6 feet to you Americans. And all of these problems would go away, because the problem is this is touching the bumper. This is touching the bumper. The bumper itself, I cannot, or the cover, it's not a bumper, but we are as trimmed as we can be. It doesn't get much more. So we have an issue there. Now, and I don't get it, because it did fit prior to me fitting the new radiator, and I've racked my brains and I've done all. I've just had it. I've had that bar on and off more than it's just been ridiculous, and I've re-welded these like 3 times. Yeah, I've re-welded these like 3 times. Yeah. Anyway, so we have a plan. And the plan is that we have ordered a new... Oh, you behave yourself. We have a plan. And the plan is that we have ordered a different intercooler. And the different intercooler should be probably... should come in a lot. So we can get these pipes. Now, it won't be any smaller physically, right? We will be there as you know, that's where it's going to be, and that's not too bad. But this will come in, so we will be dealing. We will lose another 10 mil off there, and basically that's where. If that doesn't fit, then. Right, then it's going to be goodbye to the AC, which is really not what I want to do. Because the other issue, which we've kind of, you know, this here. Now, this is, I don't get this. Because look at the state of that radiator in there. It's actually at an angle. Actually, you can't see it there. But so that's one side. That's the other side. Now, that is intended. That is factory. What it is on the rail on the bottom. It's further out, but it's also got this ridiculous little thing here, which holds it in. Now, I have obviously tried moving that back, removing this and just going straight with this. However, then you've got clearance issues with all of the pipes at the back and this, and it does. That means the radiator doesn't fit, and that's not the radiator. The other one does it as well. So you think you fix one thing, and it has a knock-on effect which affects something else, and then you fix that, and it has a knock-on effect that fixes something. It affects something else. Yeah, cause and effect. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. I am a little bit on the stuck side. The new intercooler, it's a lot narrower, so the inlets will be probably more there and there, which means that the pipe work will be a little bit further in. Right, and it's also got a slightly smaller out, because these are 65. I think we're going down to 57. The pipe's 51 anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But it means that if we're going down from 65 to 57, that's 7 mil, right? Plus we're going in that way, so yeah, we're losing. We're going to be losing quite a bit, because it also means that we can move these in, and it means that we can get, well, in theory, especially on that side there, we've got a bit of we'll have a bit of gap to play with, because that can come in. Not only will we lose off this side, we'll lose. Well, it's a thing, isn't it? It's a cumulative thing, because you can see how much we'll gain just by moving those pipes in board there. So it can go back further. Ooh, 10 mil. Yeah, 10 mil there. Plus that there will be 5 minus 8 mil. So we could potentially lose 18 mil back on this side by year. So this won't stick out anywhere near as much. The only downside to it is I've had to order it from Czechoslovakia, and it's been 2 days since I've ordered it, and they haven't even showed it as dispatched. So we're in the lap of the gods. If that goes belly up and I end up with no intercooler, there is one more place I can try and get an intercooler from, but I don't know what the hell. Other than that, it's and like I said, the easiest thing at the I could rip that condenser out of there in seconds and just put some box section in here and move that bracket right back, and it'll all fit. So that's the nuclear option. I don't want it because I've done a lot of work to keep the EC. So yeah, and then we've obviously got this to pull back together. So what I'm actually going to do next is we're going to, because it, honest to God, it is dreadful in here. There's aluminium, swarf, chips, bolts, nuts. I've kicked over everything at some point. We've got tools all over the floor, so we need to tidy up in here. But what we're also going to do is we're going to have a good go at sticking this, because I think that we're going to have alignment issues around those struts, and I hope to God, I can't remember which hoses I put on there. I hope they're the Abarth ones. I think I did put the Abarth ones on them, because the calipers, the Abarth calipers, and yeah, so hopefully we won't have to buy new hose. We're going to have a crack at putting all this, and this is not a million miles away. This is actually just putting stuff back together. I think it's going to be about an hour per side, and yeah, we've got plenty of time, so it's waiting for this intercooler to turn up and sort all this out. I'm hoping I've got the right hoses for these, because these hoses they're Abarth hoses. They all do with a clean, so much of a clean. Yeah, they're Abarth hoses because they're Abarth calipers, and I think that they should be okay, because the struts that we've got are Coney FSDs that are off a comp. So we've even got the right suspension, and we've got the right the subframe and the arm all match, so we shouldn't have any issues with camber. The front will stick out a bit more, which may or may not be an issue. I've never had a problem with scrub on the front previously, so I'm hoping that we won't now, because we were on 50s anyway, and they came out here anyway, so who knows. This is all, you know, I'm not sure if anyone's actually put FSDs or anything on it yet. So, yeah, they're FSDs and iBacks. So, and they match the rears. We're going with, and I keep telling people, because it says, oh, can you fit the Abarth springs and all that? You know, well, the Abarth springs are meant for more weight. And that makes a big difference, especially on when you're talking percentages. And there isn't a lot in it. The Panda's a very light car. This box and engine combo probably add, I'd say about 70, 80 kilos, which is enough to warrant, I think, a change in the springs. But I could just be talking out of my ass, as quite a lot of people tend to think I do. So, we're just going to have a crack and see how it works out.
It's alright, that.